A group of moderates came to Chuck Schumer 2 weeks into the shutdown, 2 weeks in, and said, we're ready to reopen the government. And he said, no, hold out. Wow. No, hold out. Mid-October, he said to his entire caucus that if anyone tried to reopen the government, he would stand against them. That's according to sources that told Axios. So. So shame on Chuck Schumer. I know he's gotten the rap as the moderate, being beholden to the far left. No, he caused the pain. He pushed the pain through, along with Hakeem Jeffries. And it's quite sad to see the radical left take over.
Now, the shutdown is over. The Democrats did fold, but not until after the elections that we spoke about in Virginia, New Jersey and New York City. How do you see this shutdown saga? It was the longest in US history.
41 days. The second longest was in Trump's first term. I'm sure that's not a coincidence, 35 days. I see it as two things. One is performative. Yeah. All of politics is performative. Everybody's playing a part. Even this alleged civil war that's going on between the Democrats right now, and they're angry with the aide who caved, quote unquote. They all know it, and they're all deciding what role to play. That's my view. And also, it isn't missed that they very conveniently decided to end it right after the election, where the Republicans got trounced. I don't think this would have made a big difference because Republicans really got trounced, and I don't think the outcome would have been any different. But maybe on the margins, it played a bit of a role because it makes the party in power look bad. The second thing is it's temporary, so it's only until the 30th of January. So in very short order, after Christmas, we're going to be back here again, and another shutdown could very well be looming. And that's why this whole discussion about whether or not to abolish the filibuster is, facing growing calls. A lot of people want that. It's very controversial. It could lead to short-term gain with long-term pain. There's one view for the Republicans. The other view is you're in power now. You may not be in power for much longer. So go for maximalist strategy. And I think we're going to see that debate continue to bubble because the shutdown saga is going to be back again on the front pages February 1st.
Well, did they achieve what they wanted to? Did they get a bump going into these elections? Is it something that they will look back on and say, yep, it served a purpose and, we can expect to see it again?
I think a little bit on the margins. Just the margins were so high, though, with how the Democrats defeated the Republicans that they probably would have won that maybe by a little bit of a lesser margin. I don't see the outcome being fundamentally different. Because it does make the Republicans look bad. And the other problem is the sticking point in this whole shutdown was Obamacare and whether to have those subsidies extend. Should they extend when we know so many illegals are taking advantage of the system? And it's so crazy because that was decades ago when Obamacare was put into place, and now these subsidies are going to expire. And the average person doesn't know all this and won't pin the blame on Obama, who's been out of office for multiple terms. It will get hung around Trump's neck. So in that sense, you could say that the Democrats did succeed a little bit, but they've also paid a price, and there's a bit of a civil war in their own party.
Now, we're going to talk about the division within the conservative ranks in the US, but the Democrats have got divisions as well. And moreover, this shutdown, the 8 Democrat Senate caucus defectors who joined the Republicans to reopen the government are facing a almighty backlash, and so is Chuck Schumer kosher for not stopping them. So there are Democrats, some of the more radical ones who seem to be leading the party these days, saying this was a capitulation. We should have kept going.
Yes, and most of those are from purple moderate states to even red states where there's somehow a Democrat in power, so they're a little bit, in terms of their personal political situation, more vulnerable. But the Chuck Schumer thing is interesting because he wasn't able to whip them all into place. And on a personal level, many people are speculating that at some point sooner, if not later, AOC is going to challenge him for that Senate seat in New York. And that's very interesting, where she is on the rise in some way with where that party is. He's ostensibly of kind of the old guard, Nancy Pelosi retired, et cetera. So that's going to be very interesting. And everybody's watching if he's going to just preemptively announce his retirement like Nancy Pelosi or risk a possible challenge from AOC.
And what an incredible job Nancy Pelosi has done to increase her own personal wealth during her time in public office. You look at what her salary was during that period and how her net wealth or net asset position has increased. It is quite remarkable. So if she can have any stock tips she wants to impart, I will be following them very religiously.
She's Warren Buffett trapped in the body of a congresswoman, that's what I say.
Absolutely. Now, before you go, there is these deep divisions forming within conservative ranks. You've got the likes of Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Matt Walsh on the one side, and then you've got Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin and others on the other. There's all sorts of calls to disavow certain people, to not platform them, a form of really cancel culture that you thought was something that the left specialised in. How do you see that? And is it just going to hold back the Republicans going into the midterms if there's all this infighting in the conservative ranks?
It's not helpful. And Republicans always were famous for having this circular firing squad, they used to say. And the Democrats, say what you will, they're very united generally, and they put on a united front. So it's certainly not helpful. But maybe it was unavoidable. And this is the party that likes to debate issues, and that leads to that. The root cause of it is the Israel issue.
Yeah,
that is, of course, a deep topic, but that is has been brewing for a long time. There's a sharp divide between those two camps. And then off the back of that, I think censorship and free speech and all of that hangs into that, where one side is saying that some views are so bad, we shouldn't be wasting time, we shouldn't be platforming, and we should be canceling people who do that. And the other side says, no, that's against the principle of free speech. So I think that's sort of the 1-2 punch of this issue, and it's going to be very interesting. The last thing I will say on that is that the side against Israel, or at least not against, but kind of neutral and feels like the U.S. has done enough, is ascendant, because everybody under the age of 30 is on that side. I would say the Tucker, Matt Walsh side of the camp. And so that is the side growing, and the side that favors Israel is literally dying out of the electorate. They're the elderly people, 70 plus. So this is not going to end.